Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak. It is Thursday afternoon. We have a special holiday week of racing. We will be running Monday, Memorial Day. Mark that down as May 25th. So we got 5-day span between Thursday and Sunday. And it's going to be an exciting week, and especially an exciting couple of days, because today in the Rainbow Six, we have over $130,000 in the guarantee in the carryover pool. That's not a guarantee. That is in the pool. We don't know how much they're going to bet, but here's the big news. We got a mandatory payout tomorrow, Friday. There you see it tomorrow. And if it's not hit today, there will be a $350,000 guarantee in the Rainbow Six tomorrow. We're changing the meet somehow, the way it's written in the Florida statutes, that one meet ends tomorrow, thus the mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six. We'll start anew on Saturday, but let's see if we hit it today. If not, we got the $350,000 carryover going into Friday's card.
It's pretty exciting, and every time everyone sees the words mandatory payout, they really bet the numbers into that Rainbow Six. The last time we had a mandatory payout here a couple of weeks ago, we had a record bet into the Rainbow Six. We reached $7 million, some tremendous life-changing numbers, and with the mandatory payout, everything must go, so you don't need to be the single winning ticket holder of the Rainbow Six. We'll have multiple winners, and you walk home with a really nice sum of cash with a 20-cent base wager.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see how much how much is bet into tomorrow. And I'm curious to see what will happen in that. But we're going to make sure that there's at least $350,000. With that said, we got to get through today, and that's our job, to try and give us some useful information, so maybe we can nail that Rainbow Six today. And not a bad jackpot today with over $130,000 just to start. We got an 8-race card today, so it starts in race number 3, our first race today. 5.5 furlongs. It's an allowance optional claimer. These are 3-year-olds and up. $12,500. We want to take a little bit of a rewind and show you rewind and show you a performance of number 3 today, and that is Hector's Pride.
This is a horse that we both have on top in this race, Hector's Pride, and this is largely in part why, due to the company he's been keeping and how well he's been running with them. This is back on April 30th. It's at the same level. The 7 is Hector's Pride. Going to keep coming at the 3. That is a horse named Delta Bluesman, and he's going to finish second, but he really doesn't give up. He keeps on coming. It was a really long, sustained drive. He's only beaten a length and a half, and Delta Bluesman is one of the top horses at the level, ultra consistent, ran in the Claiming Crown, so I think without having to face the likes of those types of horses, he should be a top contender in this race.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, that was at, turning back today, that was 3/4 of a mile, a little bit of the 5.5. I think that might be key, too, for number 3, Hector's Pride. As we mentioned, Katie mentioned, we both have that one on top. I went with the number 6, Social Media, in second. This is making his first start since the game $35,000 claiming victory. It was across town. It was at Gulfstream Park West. It was back on October 17th, in which he fought back but gamely in that race to win by 3/4 of a length. Stanley Gold, he's about 17% with the longer than 180-day layoff, and he has the son of Awesome, of course, training forwardly for the return to action. I like that performance across Gulfstream Park West. I really respect the connection, so I thought I'd throw this one on the ticket.
Yeah, and Stanley Gold doing very well with the horses coming back from layoffs, especially at this meet. We've seen a lot of nice winners from him very recently. We do have the same top selection, but everything else is different from there. I put the 2, Rasta Rant, in second. Should also be pretty well suited to the cutback to 5.5 furlongs. After dueling on the front end and fading to second behind We're All Set in his last start, that one was taking a big class drop for that race and running first off the claim for trainer Peter Walder, who does so well. He excels in that category, and he was a heavy favorite in that April 24th start, and it was against $30,000 claimers. I think, again, the company has been keeping. He should be well suited to this start. 2 starts back, he was the beaten favorite behind a horse named Bold Summit, who won 2 in a row at the time, and Hector's Pride that we have on top of the ticket.
The other horse I used on the ticket was the one, Mr. Amos. This is a former Grade 2 stakes place performer. Stakes performer. He ran a Grade 2 company, making his first start since defeating $50,000 starter allowance competition. That was on the Aqueduct Inner Tract, which is winterized for the winter, back on December 14th. The 3-year-old son of Where's the Ring, and I think he really classes up nicely in the spot. 10-1 on the morning line. I would not leave this one off the ticket. I like its back class, and I'm going to use him there. Ridden today by Eddie Dominguez.
The one I threw in third on the ticket is Take Time to Pray, and really, you have to respect everything coming out of the Sappy Joseph Jr. barn. This one came up empty last time out at this level on April 24th, but 2 starts back scored a game neck victory against $30,000 claimers off more than a 3-month layoff. Probably just got a little bit tired off that big effort and can have a rebound performance today.
Well, let's go to the second race of the afternoon. This kicks off one of our 2 pick 4s on the afternoon, and it's baby racing. It's 4.5 furlongs, maiden fillies, 2-year-olds. Major scratch in here. The big favorite is out, and that is number 6, Nasha Nadinska. This one scratched out of the race. I scratched into the number 3. It's high time. I'm sure you did the same. This is a daughter of Garner Stray, debuting for trainer Jose Pinchin, who has a really productive 19% win average with 2-year-old runners. The freshman's going to start his career against Lasix, Jonathan Gonzalez. I thought with the scratch of the number 6, 3 had to be the way to go, at least in my estimation.
You know what? I had the 3 on top all the way through, actually. I like this one, and I just really like the looks of the recent work pattern. Went 4 furlongs in 48-2 and 48-3 in her last 2 breezes. Jose Pinchin is a trainer that, again, shows up every year in these 2-year-old races and in the Florida Sire Stakes Series. He had Holywell last year, who won the final 2 legs of the filly division last year. I thought this one was one to put on the ticket. You know, it may not have that race experience of the favorite, but I just like the looks of it coming in.
Well, number 5, Lady Soy Adora. This one, I like the sire. It's a daughter of Smooth Air, 20-1 on the morning line, debuting for trainer Nestor Casalares with the limited workout information showing, but I just think this horse has just as much chance as anybody else, especially with the scratch of the number 6 in there. And I'm going off the breeding a little bit in here. Smooth Air, not that Smooth Air was precocious and gave a lot of first out winners. I just thought maybe at a price this one can be somewhere on the ticket. So I threw the 5 in second, and you went with the inside horse, number 1, Some Florida Sun in there. Second.
It's a tongue twister for you. Some Florida Sun Fun. This one's a debut runner for trainer William Deaton. 4 published works to her credit leading up to her debut. A daughter of multiple Grade 1 winner General Quarters. There's a small sample size with trainer William Deaton, but he's 25% in 2-year-old races, has a win from just 4 starts. I thought that was one to figure in, but this really does become a wide open race. You could see a lot of big prices.
Yeah, and you know, the horse that does have some experience in here, you know, we mentioned the scratch of this favorite in here, the number 6, was trained by Gennady Dorochenko. He left the other horse in here, and that's the 4, Asking Lady, and this one gets blinkers after finishing 6th in its career debut. That was on a wet track, listed as good, so going to wear blinkers this afternoon, going to try a fast racing surface, has a little previous experience, and I always think that's a key little bit of an angle when you're dealing with these babies that, you know, first-time starters come out and say, what the heck is going on around here? So threw that one on the ticket. Let's go to the 3rd race, Katie. This one is on the turf. It's 1 mile, maiden claimants, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, and scratch number 5, Ansiedad. And Ansiedad taking a little break today, had run in an awful lot of races, so not going to partake today. You know, we're going to go back and show you a performance of the horse that we both have on top in here. That's number 8, Totalida, and let's see that performance back on May 10th.
Yeah, this is against $16,000 maiden claimers, and you're going to see the 8 Tartalita did not have an ideal trip this day. Gets bumped at the start pretty good, you're going to see. And then I really thought, you know, she had an excuse there, and she's going to keep coming. You're going to watch her, going to make a 4-wide bid to get up for 3rd. Scratch from a race on Saturday to get in this spot, and I think that's a nice angle to follow. Going to stretch back out to a mile after, again, making a late run for 3rd. She's the 4 there last time out. 2 starts back, she did go this mile distance, and she was only beaten 3/4 of a length. Miguel Vasquez is going to stay aboard.
Besides that, you know, a little bit of trouble at the start. She also had a little bit of trouble in the stretch there. She had to, you know, weave around horses. She got pushed out a little bit. So for all those reasons, it looked like it's the one to beat. Now we both have it at the top of the ticket, and we both used the number 4 in a moment's notice. This one is shipping down from upstate after coming within a half length of exiting the maiden ranks, going a mile. It was against $15,000 claimers. It was upstate, as I mentioned, in Tampa on their turf course. Trainer Anna Lee, Jesus Rios named throughout. Just off that performance up north, looks like one that can run well against this level of competition.
Completely agree with you. Have to give the edge to a horse that has experience at Gulfstream, but this one coming in from Tampa definitely figures. Going to need to show a little bit more speed to contend in this spot, I think. There's very little speed among the starters in here, but definitely figures. I also threw in the 6, Polo is cheaper, another Tampa shipper. Great name too, but coming from a horse show background, I'm not entirely sure if that's true, if Polo is cheaper. But this one's going to make the dirt to turf move for this start. First start off the claim for trainer Peter Wasilek Jr. A close second last time out despite having a less than ideal trip, and that was on the main track. But 3 starts back, this 5-year-old mare finished third against Similar at this distance on the grass.
Well, number 2, Sharp Miss is plummeting to this $12,500 level on the turf after encountering early trouble in its last race. Got bumped, finished at distance 6, but that was against $40,000 claimers going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. This one, if you look back at its past performances, she was in at the fairgrounds, faced considerably tougher on the turf at the fairgrounds. Third choice on the morning line, and I just thought number 2, Sharp Miss, maybe especially with the scratch of number 5, Ansi Dad, who was on the going to be on everybody's ticket, maybe not on top, that this number 2, Sharp Miss, might run well in the third race today. And that is where the Rainbow Six starts. And as we mentioned, a little over $130,000 in that pool. So race number 3, you got to decide now. Are you going to go with the horse that we both put on top and maybe single 1 or 2 in there, or go deeper as we go along? Because we'll tell you about the 4th race right now. 6 furlongs claimants, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, or straight 3-year-olds, $12,500. And we got a jockey to be announced on the number 7 here, Brave Titan. We'll let you know about that, or I will not let you know, or you will not let him know. Pete Aiello, our track announcer, will let you know when he comes on a little after we're done in here. You went with the number 1, Maximus Decimus.
Well, we talked about the last race that lacked a bit of speed in there. This race is full of it. You've got speed from Mr. 954, Massive, He Is a Gentleman, and Brave Titan. But that one we're still waiting for the jock on. So this horse, I think, is going to get the perfect stalking trip behind all of that. He got it for third, beaten just a length in his last start on April 15th for trainer Michelle Nevin. When dropping to this level for the first time and turning a bullet 5-furlong move to turn up for this, went 5 furlongs in 59 3. Going to be fresh and sharp for this start. He's run with tougher. I just loved everything about him in this spot.
Yeah, he's the one. We have our exacta flip-flop. I went with the 5. He's a gentleman. Turning back to 3/4. I had a 2 races at this distance. One of those a win. Shipped down for Tampa. Showed some speed. Finished second against $12,500 2 lifetime claimers going a mile. Trainer Carlos Cepeda, 10-pound apprentice. John Cruz handling the turn back and distance today. Just think this one's going to be on the engine, getting in light. So I thought maybe I'd go with the 5 over the 1 for all the reasons you mentioned, Maximus Decimus. The other horse that I think has some upside is number 8, the Sundrop Kid, and I believe this one is expected to show more after returning from a 2-month freshening to finish third. That was against $12,500 condition claimers at this same 6-furlong distance. Kathleen O'Connell is the trainer. Respect everything she does with these claimers. So I threw this one on the ticket, and it's 10-1 on the morning line. She's got a go-to jock, Eduardo Nunez, in there. One of those horses you might want to give an extra look to when you're putting those multiple wager tickets together. And we mentioned the Rainbow Six. The pick 5 starts here.
Absolutely. Could be some nice value there. I threw in the 3 Massive, who dueled for the lead and drew off to defeat $6,250 claimers in his last start. That was off a 6-month layoff. I was pretty impressed from that. Going to take a logical step up now, having some fitness under his belt, and should be better today. Josie Gomez is going to stay in the irons for trainer Rohan Cretan. They do very well together.
Well, let's go to race number 5 today. It's 5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden claimers, 3 and up, $20,000. 2 scratches in the race. Scratch the number 2, Abran Paso, and also scratch number 5, Shot Daddy. We both know what. We have our selections of flip-flop here. I'll start with the number 3, Awesome Union, dropping a notch on the claiming scale after breaking from a demanding post last time out. That was post 11. Goes up, duels for the lead, weakens to finish 5th against $25,000 maidens at the distance. We mentioned Stanley Gold a little while ago. His leading jock, Tyler Gaffalione. This is a gelded son of who else? Awesome, of course. I just think this horse is a logical choice to be on the ticket. But I can understand you putting number 8, Super Semi, on top of your ticket.
Yeah, and I think Awesome Union has to be on the ticket somewhere. He figures in this spot. He's run against tougher. My only concern is that I feel he's done his best running on the main track. That's why I had to give the edge to the 8 Super Semi. This one's going to make his turf sprinting debut for trainer David Brady. He's cutting back to 5 furlongs after finishing 6th against $50,000 maiden claimers on March 26th. That was at a mile. Taking a big class drop today to run for a career low tag in this spot. And I look to a start that he made 2 starts back against $35,000 maiden claimers. Took the lead into the stretch and faded to 4th, but beaten just a length and a half, going 7.5 furlongs. I think a turf sprint is just what he needs.
Well, you know the old adage of the longer price of the uncouple entry may be able to hit, and that's why I threw the number 6. Remember Richie, this one also from the Dave Brady barn, and I believe is eligible to show more after making an inside bid and flattening out when beaten about 4.5 lengths. It was a $25,000 career debut, going 5 panels on the grass, and I just thought this horse fits okay in this spot. Miguel Vasquez, who's been riding in great form throughout the spring meeting here, and I just thought maybe this one could be on the ticket. You got 2 from Dave Brady. I'm going to go with the longer price.
Absolutely, and I think there are a lot of options outside the top 2 in this race. You could really try to get a nice price there to cap a trifecta and get a very profitable trifecta in this race. But in the Rainbow 6 and the Pick 5, I think you'd be pretty safe. At least I would think I would go just too deep in that race.
Yeah, I'm sort of in agreement to you, but I would use both the horses that we mentioned, the 3 or the 8.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go to race number 6, 7.5 furlongs. This also on the turf, and I don't know if we mentioned at the top of the show, but it's a beautiful day here in South Florida. It's a fast main track and a firm turf course. You see that on the board. You probably know that by now because we're not ducking any raindrops or anything today. Beautiful day in South Florida. 7.5 furlongs, as I mentioned. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $25,000. Full field, 9 runners going to the post, and I went in here with the number 1, Majestic Kingdom, is dropping $10,000 on the claiming scale after returning from a 6-week fresh need to track the pace and finish 5th. That's our selections from race number 5 up there. I thought it was a career turf debut against $35,000 maidens at the distance. Harry Hernandez handling that inside post. How'd you go in here?
I went with the 3 Ben Holiday. Do have the 1 Majestic Kingdom on the ticket. Absolutely have to have him. And he really could try to steal it on the front end because there's not a lot of committed speed in here. I gave the edge to Ben Holiday, who's going to debut for the Giuseppe Iadacernia barn after getting up for 3rd against $35,000 maiden claimers here. But here's the catch. That was on December 16th. Is coming off a bit of a layoff here, but you have to respect the barn. Iadacernia does very well with these types. Luca Panici's going to stay aboard.
Well, I see you have him on the ticket, too, along with the 3. But I also used the number 9 in here, My Beholder, making his first start since hitting the board in 1 of 4 turf outings against similar opposition. It was up north, but it was last summer and the spring. Chuck Simon has this son of Fuza Ichi Pegasus, training consistently, but it's his first start from 7 months, so it's absolutely a guess that this horse might, come back and be able to not win, certainly be on the ticket.
Absolutely. I threw in the 4 Bonnie Boy Hunter. This one's from the Mickey Kroger barn. Finished 3rd in his last start on May 2nd against $20,000 maiden claimers when stretching out for a couple of 5 furlong turf sprints. I think that seems like it did him a bit of good. He seems to be finding his best distance and his most suitable company level. I see this one as a horse on the rise, and at 9-2, a little bit of value, still figuring there in the morning line. I think he fits in well amongst this group.
Let's go to race number 7. This one, the feature event of the afternoon, 7 furlongs, an allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds up, $62,500 the claiming level. Scratch number 7, Kings Over, one of the 2 entrants in the race for trainer Peter Walder. We both went with the number 3, Grive On, and let's go back and show you his, I guess we will say, interesting start last time out.
Yeah, last time out, things did not go exactly his way. You're going to see him at the start here. He is the 5, and he's going to make a little bit of a hop there. And, didn't have the most ideal of breaks, but no problem. He's just going to draw off to win by 4 lengths, and I think this is a start where you have to say, wow, this horse is in really good form. He's proven at the distance, has a bit of back class, and should get a perfect stalking trip in here. And then you look at the connections. Eddie Castro's riding for trainer George Navarro. They're winning at a 38% clip together.
Yeah, and it's the old key race. You know how I love key races. I beat 2 horses in that race that came back come back to win their next starts, and that's Manhattan Johnny and Trev. So it was a fruitful $25,000 optional claimer. The horse that I'm intrigued with in here is the number 1, Louis Flower. This is the one left in the race by trainer Peter Walder, making his local debut after facing stakes caliber competition in a pair at Oakland Park, including that last race. That was a $62,000 optional claimer on April 4th. Didn't run that well in here. I respect that it's going to the Peter Walder barn here in South Florida. In that race, April 4th, 2 horses in that race came out to win not only their next starts, but win stakes races in their next starts. And as I mentioned, really respect the connections of Peter Walder first in his barn. This one coming into South Florida. So intrigued to see how he's going to run here. You know, he's got some back class, and Peter Walder does a great job with these type of horses.
I agree. His form hasn't been the strongest as of late, but he's been running in very tough company, and I expect him to move forward in a big way when debuting for this barn. I think you have to have him on the ticket. A great value at 6-1, considering the connections. I think that's a horse you definitely have to watch. Looking forward to seeing him run today.
Yeah, and you also have the number 9, and I do. Monty Hall is hoping to deal out another victory. Get that Monty Hall, that show. Make a deal? Wasn't that the show?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
that might
yeah,
be
you're too young.
Before
Go ahead, talk about Monty Hall.
This one's going to be fresh. He hasn't run since winning an upper-level allowance by 2 1/4 lengths on March 14th for trainer Ed Coletti. Posted a 92 buyer from that race. A very big effort. Was given plenty of time to recover. Might need a race coming back. Winless. You know, the trainer, he's winless in 15 starts in the past year when bringing horses back from layoffs of this length. That was my concern from a numbers perspective and the statistics, but I think he's a horse that has the form to do well.
Monty Hall, H-A-L-L, was the host of Let's Make a Deal. So
that's
why I was a little bit of a joke. But that's 412 years ago. Let's go right to the 8th race and forget about how old I am. Mile in the 16th on the turf. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life, $12,500. Real quick, we want to go back and show you the performance last time out of my best bet of the afternoon, and that is the 11 for all of the marbles.
Oh, I'm glad you like this horse as well, because I have him right on top in here. And just want to say, I'm glad I know more about race horses than game shows. There's nothing to do with your age. So let's talk about for all the marbles. This one had a really brutal trip last time out. He's the 4, and he just gets a little bit rank and has to steady on several occasions. He's really taken back repeatedly. You see the jockey struggling with him there. He's very strong, gets in tight along the rail. This was his first start back off a 2-month freshening, so he's probably ranked coming back from the time off. Going to make his second start back from the layoff and get back on the grass, his preferred surface. 2 starts back, he finished second, was only beaten 3/4 of a length against $20,000 claimers on March 8th. David Cassin's been a really hot barn. He and Jonathan Gonzalez have been doing well together. I agree with you. This has to be the best bet of the day.
Yeah, it is for me. We've got a couple of minutes left. I use the number 5, Rich Daddy, in second, sitting on I think, a top performance today. Duel for the lead, finished second as the favorite at this level and distance. The trainer, Alejandro Memo, has Jesus Rios in the saddle. You did not use that one. We both used the 12, but you did use the number 2 in there, Scarabajo.
The 2 and the 12 are both coming out of the same race, and they got a brutal trip as well. Scarabajo, in particular, was fanned more than 8 wide at the top of the stretch and finished 7th. That was in his last start on May 2nd. I actually thought he closed with pretty good energy after trailing the field in the early going and having to make such a wide run. 2 starts back, he was 3rd at the level and distance. 3 starts back, he finished behind 2 next out winners, and happy to be here and Pickett's Corner. Happy to be here, just won again on Sunday, and Pickett's Corner is on a 2-race win streak.
Yeah, who will be running here on Saturday, because I just handicapped that race. Number 12, Strongbow on the outside. I think it's going to have a clear sailing from out there. You mentioned, had a little bit of a rough trip. I think the outside post absolutely will help this horse today. Joe Cantonese, Tyler Gaffleone, been riding in great form in there. And I just thought the outside trip might help this horse more than being, bogged down and in trouble.
Absolutely, completely agree. And I do also like Rich Daddy. If there were a scratch in here, he'd be right on the ticket. So lots of live horses in this race. Going to be a great super high 5 race of the day.
Yeah, we got the super high 5 in the last race. So let's recap what we got here. We got an 8-race card. First race post 1 p.m. We got $130,000 plus in the Rainbow 6. It starts in race number 3. If the Rainbow 6 should not get hit this afternoon, the one unique ticket, then we will have a $350,000 guaranteed tomorrow in the mandatory payout. So for Katie and I, it's just going to be a fun day of racing today, Katie. We got that fast main track, Fern Turf course. I'm ready to go. Are you?
I am absolutely ready to start this week. Best of luck to you in your selections, and kind of hoping we have some fun tomorrow with a mandatory payout and a big guarantee.